Okay, you guys, welcome to another week. We have to do this again, so why don't we start off the way we always like to do, with fun, with making fun of pop culture, with celebrating our love for it. And we like to do this, or I like to do this, with somebody that I have the best time with. And she has been on my show now a couple of times. I always have the best time with her, and I always now use her as an example, if you listen to the show, as sometimes I don't get influencers. Sometimes I don't get it. And she is the only one that I'm like, that's an influencer that I like. That is an influencer that I love to actually look at her content. You know her from her amazing account, the Garcia Diaries. But if you don't know, she also has a podcast with her husband, which I think she carries this podcast, by the way. We'll give the husband a little credit, but it's called the Garcia Diaries Unfiltered every Friday. The one, the only Bethanie Garcia. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be back.
Listen, you did this thing where I don't know why I pick all women that are into sports way more than me. You're like, hey, I just have football to watch on Sunday night. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. What time does football start? And you were like, I was like, I don't know. Cool. Watch football. What? So you're a football girly too?
No, not at all. So my husband is, and if the Eagles are playing, I'm going to be there to support. Just like he's there at the Eras tour with me, you know, singing all the Taylor Swift songs, even though he's not the biggest fan.
Okay, so what game are you? It's the Eagles game for your husband.
The Eagles play. Yeah, the Eagles play tonight, so I'm going to sit there and cheer, and he's going to tell me when I'm supposed to cheer, and it's going to be so fun.
Wow, the patriarchy. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, now listen, Taylor Swift, I do know this. Taylor Swift is at another Kansas City Chiefs game, which I believe is that, I don't know if that's right now or not.
It's literally as we're sitting here right now. And my husband's out there watching that game, and he was like, babe, Taylor Swift's here. So you know what I did? I sat down and I watched for a few minutes on Taylor Swift Lookout, but I didn't see her. So I had to go to good old Instagram to see all the pics of my girl.
I mean, how does she look? I mean, does she look like she's having a good time? I want to see her one day just like pouting at the football game. Like, why am I here again?
I want to see her one day in a cute outfit. That's what I want to see. I'm waiting for the cute.
Swifties. That's a pull quote. Bethanie Garcia comes for Taylor Swift's football outfits.
I love her so much. She needs a stylist so bad.
But I like that she kind of I like that she dresses like a better version of what I would potentially wear at a football game. Like whatever Old Navy was selling, I would wear.
Her and I have like the same sense of style, and that's why I feel comfortable saying that, because everyone tells me I need a stylist.
But wait, what do you want her to dress like a Housewives at a reunion? Do you want her in like a big sparkly gown?
Maybe like some Hailey Bieber streetwear, or like she has so many fashionable friends. Like she's friends with Blake Lively. I'm like, come on, like just step it up a little, you know? Some of the stuff I'm like, girl, this is not 2012. Like,
I like that she's there in a windbreaker. I like that she's there in a windbreaker and some like ill-fitting jeans.
The combat boot heels. I'm like, no. Not the combat boot heels again.
I always think, do you think her like girl squad that she always has with her, do you think they're at a point where they're too scared to tell her to step it up fashion-wise?
I think so. I'd be scared. I'd be scared for sure. I'd be like, don't not invite me to your Rhode Island parties.
Could you imagine getting along with Taylor Swift really well and then you say one wrong thing and you're off the list for the rest of the season? Yeah. I mean, she's probably, you just like, she doesn't answer the emails anymore. I also wonder, does she like what her text threads are like with her friends? That would be amazing.
I would give my firstborn to just have her phone for 30 minutes and just to go through it like as fast as I can.
Listen, you said you were making reels. You were making reels all morning. You need to make a reel where you're like, I am going to give away my firstborn and that would be a great Taylor Swift challenge.
Yeah. Put a finger down if you give up your firstborn child.
Yeah, by the way, your kids are on the wall and you can just tell they're petrified. They're like, Mommy's about to give me away. You influenced me recently, and I didn't really get to talk about this, and we made a video that we haven't been able to release yet because a lot of stuff happened with my family and my mom. But I went to, based on your recommendation, my first med spa in Gilbert, Arizona. What is that place called again?
It's called Skinfinity.
Skinfinity, and they did Botox on me, and we went and filmed videos, and they were so lovely and nice. And that was the first, I was like, listen, I got influenced by you, and they just did it light. They did it light, but they were so caring. They walked us through the process. I brought Maritza with me to film, and I was so scared. And I was also hoping that it would completely change my life and that I would look like a completely different person. And unfortunately, I don't. I still look like me, but like a less wrinkly version of me, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you, but better. Just a little better.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, where's the personality section in here that it like helped me with? I think I probably scared all those ladies there, but they were so lovely and so great. And I was like, now that's good influencing. Like, I was like, that's kind of great because you've actually visited that place, I think, multiple times and worked with them. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, they do the best facials ever. You gotta go get a facial there.
That's it. I feel like I'm like just rotten from the inside right now, where it's like my skin isn't glowing. I mean, I'm obviously tired all the time, but I got to imagine you are too with 5 kids. Those things really help. But I just hate having the thought of like having to take care of yourself on a daily basis.
I know, it's a lot of pressure, but okay, so Anthony has like really crazy smile lines, my husband. And a few years ago, I was like, let's go on a date night. Like, I planned the whole date night. He had no idea where we were going. We like pull up to like a building. He's like,
what are we doing? And I was like, oh, nothing. I just have to stop and grab something. We walk inside and they're like, hi. And I'm like, hi, we're here for Anthony Garcia's appointment. He's like, what the fuck are we doing?
So then we go in the room and I'm like, he wants Botox, like all in his crow's feet. And he's like, what the fuck? So anyways, he was like shitting himself. He was so scared, but he did it. And I think he's been back one time, which I also tricked him into it that time too. But yeah,
I think
he's not into it.
That's the height of romanticism. I mean, I think because then I got into, like, I didn't know about the 11s, like all the stuff that all women seem to know about. I was like, oh, that's what people, I thought they were talking about some Stranger Things character, and it turns out like the 11 on your forehead. And I was like, this is truly, it's like an art form. And as long as you are tasteful with it and you don't become like an 8th season housewife, you're good.
Yeah, I think like the worst housewife ever, the worst work ever on a housewife is Brandi Glanville. Like I look at her and I'm like, how did it go so wrong?
And I, it's like, I know I can't really talk about women's looks, or I've been like, you're always supposed to be careful about that. But Brandi, and especially because so much housewife stuff is always being talked about, especially with her, because we had to postpone Ultimate Girls Trip because supposedly she got into it with Caroline Manzo. And then this week, I don't know if anybody saw this, but on Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2 at Dorinda's Bluestone Manor, there was the gentleman that was like the butler for the place. He's suing Bravo now. He had a lawsuit come out this week, and he actually names Brandi in that as kind of grabbing him inappropriately. And this Brandi cannot catch a break. I really feel, well, it's like we celebrate her, but then at the same time, she always seems to go above and beyond. And I'm scared that Bethany Frankel's gonna get her hands in, like gonna get out to, like, how did Brandi not be a part of the reality reckoning? I feel like Bethany's like waiting to get to her.
They don't even want her. They don't even want her. God. They're like, please.
Poor Brandi, man. Even Bethany's like, you know what? We'll pass. We got Nene. Nene's great.
I would rather Nene.
So I wanted to say that I just read this. Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules is celebrating 5 years of sobriety this weekend, which is incredibly amazing. But you just went to give them Lala live, correct?
Yes, I did. It was so fun.
Where was that?
It was at the Irvine Improv in California, and Vicky and Tamara were special guests at the show.
Did you know Vicky and Tamara were going to be there, or was that a surprise?
It was a surprise. Did not know.
So you had to have been flipping out.
There's a video. It's so funny because the next day, Tamara Judge DM'd me on Instagram and she was like, can you please send me the video that you posted yesterday? And I'm like, okay, but it's just me sounding like a freaking lunatic.
You can't even hear anything that's happening on stage. I'm just screaming my mind. Like, horrible.
Yeah, because you're
horrible,
getting
horrible
your
video.
life. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
we want to see, those moments, and you get so excited.
Yeah.
I wonder if Tamara wanted the video to try to make Freddie Mellencamp jealous. Like, guess where? Another live event for old Tamara.
No, it was awesome, and they spilled tea, and they were it was a great show. They were great.
Yeah, so what
And they
tea?
looked so good. They looked so good.
Yeah, actually,
Both
though,
of
I
them.
will say, Vicky had that one season on OC where she came, like, they filmed too soon after her facelift, and she showed up at the beach, and everybody was like, what the hell? But, like, her work now is, like, settled to a place where she looks amazing. Tamara looks
Oh, she looks
amazing.
good. Yeah.
What tea was spilled? Like, was the Give Them La La Live, was it a good show?
It was a good show. So Lala wouldn't really talk about anything coming up with Vanderpump Rules. It was like,
Oh, perfect. Great.
you know, you have to watch kind of a thing, which is always good because I hate when it's like,
We know everything that's happening.
Yeah.
but they did a Q&A at the end, and people were asking her questions about like Tom and what's going to happen with Tom and Sandoval, obviously. And she was like, I will say, you know, like how they're doing that thing where they're trying to like give him a pass little. She's like, I will
Yeah.
say, like, you'll see what happened. Everyone was like booing her. It was hilarious. They were like, no one's into it. I was the first question of the Q&A and the best question. Like, honestly,
What's the question?
honestly, people need to step it up with their Q&As. I asked her, fuck, marry, kill, and I did, and I'm so glad I changed it last second because I was gonna say Randall, but good thing I didn't, because her daughter was there. But
Daddy? Dad? Did she just say Daddy's name?
did she just say kill Dad? No, I said Tom Schwartz, Tom Sandoval, and James Kennedy. Can you guess what she said?
Okay,
for
I
answer?
have a feeling it'll be she'll be like FDJ James Kennedy because I've already done that and it was not bad. And then I think it would be okay, you know what? I think it would be marry Tom Sandoval, weirdly enough, and kill Tom Schwartz because she's still upset that Tom Schwartz played pickleball with Randall Emmett.
She said, kill Tom Sandoval immediately before I could even finish the sentence. Kill Tom Sandoval. She's like, fuck him. Then she was like, I would fuck James Kennedy because he lays good pipe.
I'm laying good pipe on guys' night. Yeah, laying pipe. I'm laying pipe on Lala.
Yeah, and then she said she would marry Schwartzy.
Why did she
So,
say
yeah.
Schwartz? You're like, why?
I can't
Did she have a
remember
reason?
her reason, but it was something about like he's sad and like lonely and I don't
Like
know. I was
a husband should be. Sad and lonely
yeah.
like a husband should be.
Something, yeah, it wasn't like the funniest answer, but after that, everyone was like the worst questions that you could ever ask. I'm like, this is your one chance to ask like three of the most iconic Bravo celebrities questions. These questions are horrible. It's like, well, who inspires you? Like, how do you mom so good? Like the worst question. So, anyways, yeah, and then Vicky and Tamara were saying their like least favorite castmates and that kind of stuff, and it was hilarious. So
Did Vicky
I
take
highly
another
recommend
opportunity?
going
Did
to-
Vicky take another opportunity to shade Teddy Mellencamp?
I don't think so. I don't think she did.
Now, did you get to meet Lala afterwards?
No, we had a VIP booth, and which was like the highest like ticket that you could get, but no meet and greet, unfortunately.
Was there any VPR cast members there to support her?
Well, the first night, which is we weren't there, Stassi was there.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I was hoping that, so maybe she was a special guest that night. I'm not sure, but I almost would have rather gone to that if she was a special guest. I feel like
So you're a big Stassi head.
it like goes back and forth, but like when Scandal happened, I went back and rewatched from season 1 because I wanted to experience it all again, and I think that's when I was like, Stassi is definitely the best cast member they've ever had on Vanderpump Rules. Like the most quick-witted, funniest lines, funniest drama. She'll come for anyone, and she's easy to make. Well, I don't know if she's easy to make up with, which is what I think makes like the best cast member. She can hold grudges.
No, you know
but-
what? I like that she still hasn't forgiven Jax and Britney for not going to their wedding. Like, I like that. Like, that's what, don't be forgiving Tom Sandoval. Hold grudges. I think that's important in reality television to hold grudges.
That's true. I think that we're missing out on such iconic television, not getting to follow along with Stassi and Jax, and like even having Sheena in there and Lala and their parenthood journey, because like we've seen them literally like snort coke off each other. We've seen them like penny dip. We've seen them
Literally cheat on each other. Like, I want to see them as parents now. Like, that, I feel like that would be amazing.
And yeah, I feel like any day we don't have, I'm sorry, everyone like hates Jax. I hate him too, but like iconic reality TV. I need him on my TV.
Listen, I don't know. Are you watching House of Villains on E?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So you guys, the first episode I was like so on, but then the second episode, there are just these moments with Mr. Jax Taylor that remind you of why he's so good on television, because
Yes.
in this second episode, he brags about them. He's like, dude, I made $500,000 on CAMEO. My girl Britney made $2 million with Jenny Craig. And I'm like, wait, first off, but it's classic Jax, because like I don't necessarily believe they gave her $2 million for Jenny Craig. Like I believe she got paid well, but I feel like she's like, yeah, she owns Tesla now because of Jenny Craig. And then Shake from Love Is Blind kind of was like, this guy kind of just is so braggadocious, but that is classic Jax. And then Jax gets mad at the end. He's like, you better be thankful I got a family, because I would be happy to go to jail because of you, bro. And I'm like, oh my God, Jax threatening physical violence within the second episode. I just love, he's like, I'm a good Christian man. I'm a good Christian married man. And then he's in a jacuzzi threatening violence. That's classic Jax Taylor.
Oh, it's awesome. It's amazing. It's the best. And yeah, there's no chance in heaven or hell that she made $2 million from Jenny Craig. There's no chance.
Well, listen, if that was the case.
I've talked to like influencers with 100 million followers. Kylie Jenner is making $2 million. Like, you're not Kylie Jenner. So it's just, it's wild.
Jenny from Jenny Craig, if you're listening, please let us know how much you paid Britney. I'm sure it's great money. I just don't believe it's $2 million. But also, what's so great is that we have 9 seasons of Jax on Vanderpump Rules to show us how much he does love to stretch the truth. And so it's not just the fact,
straight up lie.
yes, like the fact, like the truth is, you know, she does have Jenny Craig. The lie probably is that it's nowhere near $2 million, but he gets in those situations where he just gets so comfortable that he also wants to like just flat out lie. It's like his best work.
And it's a little frustrating too, because he also loves to spill tea and tell the truth all the time. I like when he tells other people's truths for them, but it makes it less believable when he's always stretching the truth. So it's like a fine line. It's like, just tell the truth all the time. You're still going to be getting the same reaction.
Well, he pops up on Vanderpump Rules season 11, and we have the spinoff Vanderpump Valley that should be coming out around the same time. And my thing is, it's like you see with little tastes of House of Villain, it's like, do you really want to go down this road again, dude? Like, it's like these little lies about money, but just like I get scared of like, what happens when like girls start flirting with you again? What happens when a DM goes wrong? I get nervous of like, is it really worth jeopardizing any of this amazing family life that you say that you have? I don't even know why I'm like concerned about this, but I'm like, it seems like it just opens up doors, especially for men, to exhibit their worst behavior.
He's going to do one season of Vanderpump Valley. He's going to get canceled 600 different times. He's going to, like, something's going to happen with Britney, and then you know what's going to happen? He's going to be the leader along with Bethany Frickle for the Bravo takedown. He's going to be like, they tricked me. They forced me. I didn't even want to come back. Oh, my gosh.
It's the Bethanie plus Jax podcast where he's just like, dude, Bravo just destroyed my life, and they knew what they were doing. They had this plan to destroy a good Christian man. I got really upset.
The producers made me DM that girl. The producers made me.
I don't even like booze. I don't even like drink. I've never liked drinking. I don't like drugs. I got really pissed because like about a year ago, one of their mutual friends said, hey, will you please follow Jax Taylor on Instagram, and he'll unblock you and follow you. And I was like, oh, okay. And I did. And then this weekend, he fucking unfollows everybody except for 7 people. And now I'm like, wait, now I'm just stuck holding the bag. I got to stay followed to Jax Taylor.
And if you unfollow, he's gonna block you.
Oh, he's gonna be livid. I mean, he's not. But he's gonna be livid if he ever finds out. And the other thing is, if you try to follow or tag Jax Taylor right now, Immediately on Instagram, it comes up that this account distributes false information. There's a warning that comes up on his account now.
Wait, what's his handle? Mr. Jax Taylor?
Yeah, Mr. Jax Taylor. Did he block you? He blocked you. How did he block you?
It's not coming up at all. Like, it's not. How did I get blocked? What did I do?
Oh, you said you're pro Stassi.
He already heard.
That's
Like 2 minutes ago, the moment I said it.
He's like a
I'm checking on
Jedi.
My podcast. I think he deleted his Instagram. Now you check.
Okay, I actually follow it. Let me. This is for
Because
science.
This is for science because I'm on my podcast page and it's still not.
No,
coming
it
up.
comes up immediately for me, Mr. Jax Taylor.
Goodbye. I'm gonna check for my daughter's account.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my
Not
God!
coming up
Wait.
for
Now he follows more than 7, but he now follows 86 people. But I'm not one of this son of a bitch. Oh my
This
God!
Son of a bitch. I'm shook right now.
This is why I should never forgive people. This is the. Wait, are you gonna do BravoCon in a couple weeks?
No, I wish.
Why aren't you doing You're the hugest Bravo fan ever.
I know, but I've left my family too many times to oh, okay, it does come up. I just had to type up the whole thing. Fake news.
It would have been a way better story if he had actually blocked
I know.
you.
I should have just pretended. No, I want to go, but number one, I don't have anyone to go with. None of my friends care as much as I do. And number two, Anthony, he'll come to concerts and stuff, but that is
That's a bridge too far.
Super Bowl. It's I don't think I'd go to the Super Bowl with him. I'd be I don't deserve to be here. Number one, number two, it's too many crazy fans and I'm not on the same level, so not as fun. It's when all your friends are drunk and you're sober, not so fun. And then
trick him like you did with the Botox.
Yeah, true. I'm we're going to Vegas for the strip club.
Yeah, tell him you're going to Vegas to do the sports book. He can do sports gambling, and you can just go around to the panels and stuff like that.
Yeah. No. I'm traveled out for real. So
okay. Well, I'll let you know how it is. I'm prepared for the insanity. Moving on to other Bravo shows, though, we have Real Housewives of New York, which had its first season, and tonight or Sunday night we start the first part of the 2-part reunion. Are you looking forward to the reunion, and what did you think of the season?
I'm so excited. This is my favorite season of
New York City since the beginning. They could not have done it better. I know people were so worried in the beginning that it was boring, there wasn't enough drama. They really started out kind of mellow, and I think that's what we needed. We needed to work our way into the real drama, because I don't want fake manufactured drama we sometimes get on Beverly Hills, where it's I feel they're texting each other okay, let's fight tonight and then we'll be fine tomorrow. It was real deep-seated stuff, but sometimes it takes a while to get there, especially with a new cast.
And they hit the ball out of the park, which is, sorry, another sports reference, but amazing.
Wait, what's a ball? What is this park you speak of? Yeah, no.
Park.
I like that you said that,
amazing.
because a lot of people are saying they didn't like it, and I just I think it went on maybe an episode or two too long, but I thought it set a really good foundation where I'm excited to see that first part of the reunion, because now we get to see the women where they now have seen our memes. They've heard us talk about them. And I think it's different once we start becoming a part of it, where Sai realizes she's not liked. Erin realizes that she's kind of said some troublesome things. And I like that aspect of it at the reunion. We'll get to see some of these people potentially shell-shocked. I've seen some clips, and Uba comes in hot.
Oh my God. I was where was that all season? I feel we only saw that on the trip when she was pissed at Erin.
You give me I'll take your glasses. I'm not giving you back glasses.
No, she was, I want this energy all the time. It was awesome. But my favorite, I have to say, Jessel came out on top. So I thought she wasn't going to be likable, and she ended up being my second favorite. And can you guess who my first favorite is?
Well, I think the obvious answer would be Brynn.
There we go.
Yeah. But
Brynn.
see, Brynn to me, by the way, Brynn and Lala are cut from the same cloth. I believe those people are born to do talking heads. I think those people speak kind of like first season Stassi, where they were raised almost on watching people like Stassi. So Brynn came out of the womb, it seems like, on a sitcom where she's always making the faces and saying the funny thing. And sometimes I'm a little mistrusting of that, but I can't deny how good she is and how much she pops on television. I just want her to be surrounded by a strong cast, and I'm curious what changes, if any, they'll make in season 2.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like Erin brought nothing to the show. I didn't like if you're gonna start drama, then see it through. See the drama through. And I think with Brynn, that's like she's hilarious. She makes me laugh every episode. Love that. Like I love someone who can actually make me belly laugh because it's hard. It's getting harder and harder with these Bravo shows. And she makes me laugh. She brings the drama. She's messy. She's always like going to different groups. You tell her something, everyone's going to find out immediately. And that's what we want. We want people start. I don't want to watch an episode where there's no drama and there's no fighting and it's boring. Like, that's boring. And so for me, she brings it. And yeah, I think her problem is going to be finding people that trust her and like having actual friends. But as far as like reality television goes, she's made for it. She's literally made for it. And I think Erin could go and I wouldn't miss her. I feel like Uba could go and I wouldn't miss her until I'm seeing now this energy she's bringing to the reunion. It's like if she could bring that during the season, then I'm happy. And I would love to see Sai back with less complaining. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think all of them will be invited back, whether they come or not. Like, I have like strong doubts that Jenna will come back, but I
forgot about Jenna even in this conversation. Like, love her.
She's always so nervous.
Boring.
I'm so nervous in all of these. She plays both sides, but not in a really interesting way.
Oh, there's drama. I'm gonna run away. She wasn't involved in any drama the whole time. The reunion is gonna be hell for her, I think, because she's gonna be so scared. She's gonna be on the spot, and that is not a real housewife. Like, it just doesn't
I think
work.
Jenna doesn't need it. I mean, at the end of the day, Jenna, like, I love that she's there because somebody that has that kind of real world experience, and it was funny to watch all the ladies at first kiss her ass. But this show, and I wish people would give it a second look or maybe even a first look, what I love about it is that we started off the season potentially disliking Jessel, and we ended the season loving Jessel. And Jessel has that so bad it's good quality where there's an obliviousness, there's an awkwardness, and she got bullied within the season. And they thought they were winning, the people doing the bullying. And then we get a hold of it and we say, no, how dare you? She's awesome. And you're right about Erin. It's like, yo, if you're going to be in everybody's business, you better make sure your shit doesn't stink. And you better not cry when things get brought up your way. And that was the thing, was like an element of cry to daddy almost when things didn't go her way.
Yeah, and it's like, that's an infuriating watch. Is like when someone goes to confront her about something she said, like in the finale, Jessel's like, I heard you said this. She's like, never. And then the flashback is like, her husband's sleeping around in Vietnam and and he doesn't wear a ring. And it's like, dude, if she would just come to her and be like, yeah, I did say that and here's why I think it, then now we're going to have a back and forth thing instead of like everyone just cornering Jessel, pretending like they didn't say everything that they said. I don't know. And it's like the pet parrot thing's funny and like her coming out dressed up and it's like, haha, okay, we can end the episode laughing, but it's like, I guess save it for the reunion, but it's like, come on, give us something more. Erin needed to give us more and less crying and less like playing the victim.
And finally, too, the last episode, the season finale with Uba, and she got upset at them talking about her guy from Connecticut. And that kind of bothers me in the sense of, listen, maybe don't start new relationships if you're scared of them being brought up on camera, because that's what makes these shows fly, is when we do share these relationships new, like, we want things that you potentially... Yeah, we want things that you potentially shouldn't share. Like, I don't want to share relationship. Like, I don't want to do that, but I want you to do that. That's why I'm not on reality television.
Yeah, and I was so frustrated when Uba's going outside to side, and it's like, I didn't mean to. And she's like, it's okay, don't worry, it's fine. But she, like, went off on Brynn. It's like, Brynn.
Yes. And when Sai goes, it was not on camera, and her jaw unhinges.
Yeah, I was like, and you could see even Erin was like scared in that moment. I'm like, girl, it literally was. Like, not only did Uba say it on camera technically, but Sai then repeated it on camera. So why is Bryn in the wrong? And then like in the end credit scenes or whatever that they always do, like the recap, they're like, Bryn is not invited to anything with Sai. And it's like, you're the fucking bitch that, sorry.
You're the
No,
one
you
that told her.
Guys, oh my God, all my 7-year-old audience is offended as hell right now. They're like, what is she saying?
No, I don't want Sai to come for me either.
Well, by the way, you're the one that actually talked last time on the show a couple months ago. You were saying how you were, because I did not know Sai. I don't really follow influencers. And you said you did. You knew her. You liked her. You always appreciated her content. So it was interesting.
Years.
But it made me rethink even like, wow, there are people out there that really liked her going into this season. She had a leg up. Is it interesting? And also to the point of you're doing what you do. Like, do you sometimes feel like, oh man, I overshared in my husband. I overshared my relationship with him. Like, what's that line for you? Would you ever do a housewife show?
I would do anything that will bring me more attention, for sure.
Wow. So honest. Wow. That's amazing.
I would do it, but I think there is something like to be said about I would never go into it if I was like in a bad place in my relationship, kind of like how we were talking about with Jax. Like last year I was struggling in my marriage and we've talked about it on our podcast. We've talked about it on Instagram. I think that would have been the worst time ever. We would have ended up divorced for sure. But like going into it with a strong marriage, I feel like would be so important. And I just would, I don't know. I think, would I do it? Yes. Would people like be interested? Not sure.
Yeah. No, I just always wonder that because you see them during the season try to make these judgment calls on their own lives. And that's the thing. It's like, don't put the brakes on us getting to know you. Let us decide when we want those brakes applied, or let the producers. Don't self-produce. Don't do all that stuff.
And we have like a little bit of experience with reality TV, just one episode, but it was not the best experience because it was like so overproduced and like what we filmed wasn't really what the end product was on screen. And I'm sure that's exactly what it is like for all the Bravo celebrities.
Wait, what was that? Was it like a home renovation or what was?
It was Super Nanny.
So yeah. Super.
Don't look at it.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Salt Lake City, which I always tell the audience I feel like I'm wasted when I watch that show because I feel like I'm drunk out of my mind because it's so bizarre in the best way. Well, how do you feel about Salt Lake this season?
I love Monica. I know
Me
her
too.
in real life. We've been friends for years.
Wait, you know Monica in real life?
Yes.
Tell her to do my show.
Like
Tell her to do I want her to be on.
Ryan, do you want some tea?
Yes.
We had her scheduled on our show for the week before the season premiered.
I had paid for her ticket, her flight, our studio, all that stuff. I posted in my story and I was like, what questions do you have for the newest, housewife Monica? And she reposted her story and the producers of the show saw it and they called her and they were like, you are not allowed to do her show. They emailed us and they were like, if she gets on that flight, like, it's not going to be good. Like, they were so mad.
What was the reason?
So mad. They were like, we haven't even done our interviews with her yet. Like, she hasn't done Watch What Happens Live yet. So, like, I get it. But we weren't really even going to talk about the show. Like, my, like, perspective of the episode was going to be, let's get to know you before you, like, go on Housewives, you know? Like, what's your background? She has so many incredible stories, and I was like, let's share some of those stories. So we've been fighting with Bravo ever since to get her back on the show. So now they emailed us last week. They're like, okay, we can have her come, but it has to be virtual. You cannot do an in-person show, and it's limited to 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, these people. Like, you guys are killing me. And I'm like, fine, we'll do it. But annoying.
It is interesting, like the hoops you have to jump through, and they are very protective. I get that to a degree, but I also think like you said, you could do an interview without disturbing the ecosystem, but actually getting to know them a little deeper, but not disturbing the storylines or anything like that. But I think Monica, we saw in this week's episode, that relationship with her mom is so fascinating. And the way her mom was kissing Angie K's ass at that. By the way, Bethany, did you realize that did you realize I just found out this week Angie K is Greek? And that was very,
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
yeah, no,
So
they
weird.
did Greek Easter, and but it was, you had this really, you kind of root for Monica, you know, even though she's like hardcore and she obviously has her housewife isms, you see how like this relationship with her mom has really affected her in a negative way. And it's one of those things when like they get on Housewives, you can tell that the mom seems to like it a little bit too much.
Oh, she's thirsty as hell. And as someone with abusive parents that try to pretend like that they're my mom to this day, hopefully she doesn't listen to this, but like I love my mom and we've worked so hard in our relationship, but this woman like pretends to be the best grandma, the best mom. It's just, and it's never going to be that way. And like I feel like I'm her mother. And so I relate a lot to Monica in that way. I was so triggered seeing like Lisa Barlow and Angie and all that be like, I can't believe she's talking to her mom that way. And it's like, you have no idea what it's like to deal with a parent like that. And seeing everyone like immediately take
The victim side in that was like
mind-boggling and triggering and
horrible to watch. But I think Monica will be the best addition we've ever seen to this show. She brings the drama. She tells it like it is. She's not afraid to get her hands messy. And that's what makes a perfect Real Housewife.
Angie K annoys the shit out of me. Like I can't handle this girl.
Well,
at
Angie
all.
K wants it so bad. There's a part of it that she bought her way on, and the thing. But you know, but I like her in that kind of embarrassing way of like it's so extreme that it's funny. Like she wants it so much that there seems to be a little bit of a desperation there, and to me that's amusing. And Lisa Barlow. You know, to me, she's just another great example to me of a housewife, warts and all, because she'll be like, she won't even realize some of the, you know, there's like hypocritical moments of, you know, like, she's like, I don't even know my son's going on a mission. And then commenting on somebody else's relationship with their mom. It's very interesting. And to me, that's why I just love that it's like kind of ascended even after Jen Shaw. And I really look forward to each episode. In fact, I found out there's not going to be a new episode this week, and I got so pissed.
I did not know that. Thanks for ruining my night.
Because of Winter House. Yeah, by the way, you got to now go watch
gosh.
football, but Winter House premieres on Wednesday, and so they're going to do that instead of Salt Lake, I guess, this week.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
Don't like
sorry.
that. And then the other thing with Salt Lake City is Mary, like, she's funny, but like, why is she on the show? Because she's not getting out of the van during group activities. She's not going outside during group activities. She doesn't want any of them to talk to her besides Meredith. Honestly, I think she's there. She's Meredith's pet parrot, and she is there to just back Meredith up whenever she needs it. And I know that my girl Monica and Lisa beef, but like I'm always going to be here for Lisa being like a lunatic on the show. Love her.
Well, I mean,
Can't stand Heather.
Heather still is like working, or she's actually trying to be nice, but I think it's the wrong way to go with her commenting on Jack. But Jack Barlow's like, it's not your business, dude. Like, stop selling books. I don't like, this is not the road to go down. Just be your fun first season self.
It's wild because my sister converted to Mormonism, Latter-day Saints, and last year, and she got married to a Mormon man. And it was this crazy experience of everyone in my DMs and like our podcast audience being so angry at me for not like checking my sister and being like educating her and being like, don't you know all the bad things about the church and da da da. And it's like, my sister knows my opinion, and beyond that, it's her life, and I'm not gonna like push away my sister just because I don't agree with the church. Like, it's the most wild thing that people think that they have to insert their opinions in every single decision that like a family member makes. Like, what is Lisa supposed to do about her son wanting to go on a mission? He didn't tell her.
Just because Heather wrote a book and came to this conclusion in her 40s does not mean that Jack Barlow needs to pull Heather aside and Lisa needs to go to Heather, because like Lisa said, Lisa, even though you disagree with it, has had a positive experience with the church, even though she's like, I don't even go to the temple. I don't, but I love it. But that's Lisa Barlow. And you've got to let people make their own mistakes or whatever it is. And we see this now all the time in society, especially with all the horrible shit in the world going on right now, is all we do is just fight with each other. Like, we don't even know half the information. Like, yes, I have my mind made up about that religion, but is it my responsibility on a pop culture podcast to warn you about the ins and outs of a Mormon religion that I was never raised in? No.
Exactly. And like, I don't know, people feel like their opinions matter so much that it like ruins relationships. And that's the other thing that's so weird to me is like people
Literally wanted me to.
not be friends with my sister anymore. And I'm like, she's my sister.
Well, they don't even think but see, then in their own lives, they're the same way. Like, they wouldn't be able to do it, but we're always able to tell somebody else what they should do. It's always easier to go, well, I know that for a fact is wrong, but their own lives are so messy. I just see that all the time. And that's one of the bad things about social media. And I complain about Twitter all the time, but it's just people saying they're like, I am without a doubt completely right. And then you see their own lives half the time and it's like a complete mess. So you have to take everything with this grain of salt and try to be open and caring and loving and not full of hate, like is just getting pushed. Unless you're on Housewives, and then it's okay to hate and fights and all of that stuff. Back to Mary, though. Mary had one of the funniest, awkwardest scenes with her son that lives with her, Robert Jr., who's been married for a year and finally admitted it on camera in the shyest way possible. And his wife lives with them. She's like, you guys been living with me for the last year. Like, you didn't know, like, the amount Mary doesn't know. Like, Mary's in a closet doing scenes with mannequins and doesn't know what's going on with her son. And then Meredith comes over and treats Mary like she's the sanest person. She's like, oh, Mary, you're so wise. It's so funny what you say about you. Like, oh, I can't believe Robert Jr. didn't tell you. It's bizarre. The whole show's bizarre.
It's hilarious. And he's like so quiet. I was like, turn his mic up. I can't hear what he's saying. He's so shy and quiet. But yeah, then she's like, at the end, she's like, you can tell me anything. And you can tell by the look on his face, he's like, I don't want to tell you anything ever.
Oh, I said at that moment they should have like a two-year-old run out and be like, well, this is my son, Mom. Like, oh,
yes,
that's that little kid that's been running around the house. I had no clue that was you. Mary seems completely oblivious unless you tell her a year later.
They're
She's like,
be running out of the bag. They're gonna be running out of the house with a big old bag and a car seat. She's like, where are you going? And they're like, to the hospital to give birth. And she's gonna be like, you're pregnant. Like, that's what she's gonna do.
She gets out of Greek Easter by telling Angie K she has to go to Vegas because her house flooded a year ago. She's like, my house flooded a year ago. I can't be there. I'm like, whatever happened a year ago, Mary has no idea. She's like waking up to everything that happened a year ago on the show.
She's still catching up.
But I love it. So, like, for some reason, I rewatched those episodes this season. And last season, I was just like, because of the Jen Shaw of it all. But this season, I'm glad I hung on.
Jen Shaw made the show unwatchable at times. Like, and there's a fine line between a character being reality TV gold and then being unwatchable. And she's one of the ones where I was like, girl, you're like, it's too much. I can't watch this. I want to know more about the Monica Jen Shaw relationship, which we fully don't know all of the ins and outs. But I will say this. Monica's a hustler. She has a handful of kids. She's not like Gina Casita from OC, but she's very honest of saying, like, listen, I'm trying to make a living. So you can see where she would have been like, okay, let's hang with Jen Shaw. She seems to have tons of things going on. She lives a baller lifestyle like I want to. I want to know more about that relationship. Yeah. You're just like, yeah. Okay. Oh, also, I wanted to tell you this. I can't say anything. Yeah.
No. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Speaking of Bravo, though, this was hysterical. Real Housewives of New Jersey is filming their new season right now. And last Saturday, I went to Joey Gorga's stand-up in New Jersey. I'd never been to New Jersey before. Melissa invited me. It took 2 hours to get there. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. Two things I want to mention. There was a Reddit thread saying that Joey did a Q&A afterwards where he said he slept with Dolores at a point and all this stuff. I want to just tell people I was there. There was no Q&A afterwards, so I don't know what this Reddit thread was. I will say there was a lot of awkward comedic moments. Like the comedy part, like he does pantomime having sex with Melissa on stage. There was a lot of moments like that, which were wild, but no Q&A. The other thing I want to say in terms of Bravo is that Joey, I was dealing with Melissa's assistant, Joey Gorga was supposed to be on this show, So Bad It's Good, Tuesday night. We were doing an interview, and I got emailed yesterday saying that none of the cast are allowed to be doing interviews right now as of Friday. And this was the weekend where they were supposed to film in the where Bluestone Manor is, in the Dorinda's place in Berkshire. Sorry, they were supposed to do and the trip got canceled. Supposedly, a fire happened where they were going to stay, but it's like really like murky. But I think like just shit is always going down in Jersey, but whatever has happened this week must have really popped off, because I did get a very nice email saying that, you know, I couldn't do this interview anymore with Joey. And it was going to be a funny interview just talking about his stand-up stylings and stuff.
Yeah, was it funny? Like, were you laughing at all?
Like I was it was at like a Hyatt Regency in a ballroom. It was like the weirdest place I've seen stand up, and they didn't even turn the lights down. So I was like front row with Sophie, and like I felt like I had to smile and laugh the whole time because I was right. Like you could look over and see me if you were on stage. The opening comedians were great. Joey, there's a lot of passion there, a lot of energy. The jokes, you know, it was a lot of like dreaming about having sex with mermaids and stuff like that. I appreciate anybody's passion at wanting to try something new, but you know, it's not like Dave Chappelle.
Some people like hear you're funny too much and they're like, oh, I should be a comedian, like not knowing that it's a whole separate craft in and of itself. I was like, imagine how bad it was.
Well, I was like trying to think of all the different ways it could go before I went there, and I'll put myself in awkward situations and I'll be like, oh, this will be so great. And then I get in the situation and I'll be like, oh my God, what am I doing here? But I remember going like, wouldn't it be bizarre if Joey was like, okay, here's the deal with Israel and Palestine. This is what you got. Like if he broke down, he's like, I'll tell you what, are we a racist? Like if he was really getting into the thick of it, he was like George Carlin or something. It wasn't like that.
Be better, probably.
No, I was like, could you imagine me walking out and be like, it blew my mind. I think about the world differently now after Joey Gorga's stand up. But I'm bummed that I can't do the interview.
That sucks. It's the worst feeling when they make you cancel.
Well, shit must be going down in the Jersey universe in Bravo. And I will say even BravoCon, they're not allowing the Jersey housewives and guys to do a panel all at once. They split it up into a bunch of different panels. And even the press room, they don't all get interviewed. Like it is all seems to be very strategically placed in, like they're not around each other, because it just seems like it's going to go bad at any second all the time with Jersey.
I'm so excited. This is awesome.
Okay, moving on to some non-Bravo. Britney Spears, her book comes out this week on the same day as Danny Pellegrino's book. You got to get both. They're both, I read Danny's, it's awesome. But Britney Spears' book comes out. And are you going to be reading this book or listening to this book?
100%. I'll read it.
Yeah.
I'm not a listener. I can read, though.
I love actually listening to the audiobooks. I love listening to audiobooks. It's kind of my favorite thing to like for like celebrity memoirs, especially. But Britney's has so much information, and a lot of stuff came out in regards to, and this is like a trigger warning. We've talked about this on the show before about Justin, they had an abortion. And a lot of people have really come out swinging again at Justin. On top of the breakup, she admits she cheated with choreographer Wade Robeson. I mean, where are you on all the information that keeps coming out about Britney?
There's nothing that's come out yet that's shocked me at all. Like, Justin forcing her to have an abortion makes complete sense to me. Him breaking up with her over text message. Confused if there was, like, texting back then, but seems accurate to me. I don't know. I feel like we already knew that she cheated with Wade. Like, that was just assumed. So I am just hoping that it's not just, like, all of this old stuff that we kind of already know about. I'm hoping that she's going to call out the people that need to be called out, which is, like, what I'm a little bit worried about with the book.
Well, who do you think, in your opinion, need to be called out?
everyone that was involved in the conservatorship, not just her dad. I feel like it's been like my dad, my dad, my dad this whole time, and it's like there's so many like high figure people that are still working in Hollywood with like, Justin Bieber and like all these people that are still connected, and it's like, why aren't they getting called out as well when they were kind of spearheading it, I don't know. That's just my opinion from someone that only I've watched the documentaries, I'm into pop culture, but like, do I really know what happened? No, not really, not at all.
My fear with all of this is that I just get worried, like, to what involvement does she actually have with all of this? Like, I get worried.
That's my point.
Yeah, like I get worried about all of this, like all of this stuff about Justin, it's like we've, like you said, like, oh, we all thought she, obviously had an affair with Wade, but we never got confirmation. Yeah. Obviously there's a ghostwriter on this book, obviously all of that, but it seems like even from Britney's posting, she deactivated her Instagram and activated it again over the weekend. She also said, hey y'all, this was all stuff in the past. I've dealt with it, but not realizing, well, it's like, this is what happens when you write an autobiography, is that this shit gets dredged through. Well, yeah, to sell books.
I will say, too, that obviously there's a ghostwriter, but it does, a lot of the excerpts I've seen do seem like they're in her voice. And so that gives me a little bit of hope. But yeah, my whole thing is like, are you going to call out the people that need to be called out? And if not, it makes me feel like they're involved in the project, So
yeah,
hopefully, I feel like I need her on stage with Oprah or a similar figure speaking from her mouth, and then that will make me like feel like, okay, I believe it all,
When she's not doing any interviews for this, she's done like some email interviews with People Magazine, had an exclusive.
Shady.
Yes, so because shady. I could be doing those interviews in her voice.
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm like, are you involved in this? Please wear yellow.
She admits that she had, a tryst with Colin Farrell for a couple of weeks that was highly aggressive and sexual. So I'll be interested to hear about that. But it is interesting now we can go through all of these kind of photos from those like paparazzi moments and all of this stuff and like place the actual stories or whatever is presented to be the story. But yeah, it's weird. Like even though the Free Britney movement and she is free from the conservatorship, you still wonder how free she truly is and if this is her true story. And at the end of the day, is she prepared for all of us to be commenting, liking, supporting, disliking, coming out against all of the stuff that gets rumbled and brought up with this? I just hope she's strong enough for all of this.
Yeah. I just had a girls trip for the Lala show, and one of the girls was saying, like, do you think that, like, Britney is Britney? Like, it just doesn't seem, like, all those, like, conspiracy theories. And I think people just truly don't understand how fucked up you get mentally when you're being drugged that long. Like, I have a cousin that overdosed on medication and will never be the same again from one overdose, and she was in a coma for, like, a week. Never again will she be the same, and it's like the mind of a child, and it's so sad. And I just really think people do not understand how fucked up you can get. So like, I don't like all the conspiracies that are like, oh, is she really Britney?
Yeah,
I'm not into that,
Well, imagine having all of that and
for 13 years, like
and millions and millions of us involved in it. Like, if we go through a mental health crisis, it can be very personal for us and we're able to kind of control that narrative or even kind of just hide away. And with Britney, we've always been wondering, digging, good and bad. Like people have helped with the Free Britney movement in some ways to get the conservatorship ended, but there's so many questions. And I just, I get nervous when there's a big publicity blitz around this one person that we've now had in our lives for decades. But pop culture lovers, we feel this ownership with the people that we love, and that can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah, agreed. And like, there's just too many weird things that have happened around, like even with the wedding and Sam and like all of that happening at the same time. It's just too much weirdness that makes me like scared for her,
No, I totally agree. And speaking of books, and one that I don't really want to read or listen to is Jada Pinkett Smith's book, Worthy, that came out this past week. Will Smith popped up at a Baltimore book event with Jada and gave this whole speech about like, our relationship has kind of been this public experiment. And I'm like, yo, you aren't a scientist. Stop doing experiments and letting us in on it. Like, we don't, like, experiment on your own time. Like, I mean, I know way too much about this relationship, and everything I learn, I dislike more and more. What is your take on hearing all of this stuff?
No one annoys me more than her, and I'm a girl's girl, and I wish that I loved her, but I feel like Will Smith's reputation will never be the same. Or his, did I say reputation or relationship? I don't know.
No, reputation. You said reputation.
It will never be the same. Like, this is one of the most talented actors of our generation, and he is a laughingstock. And I think there's such value in sharing things that other people might be going through to help them when you have a platform. No one's going through the things that she's sharing. You're not helping anyone. By sharing these things, you're just embarrassing yourself, and you're the father of your children if he's not your husband, which technically they're still married, but it's so odd. And like, it all started with the whole red table talk with her and what's his face, that her son's friend. What was his name? August Alsina.
August Alsina.
I feel like it started there, and it has not stopped since. And the Oscars now is like a mind-blowing situation to me. But also kind of makes more sense knowing that, like, he was trying to almost, like, get her back, maybe? I don't know.
It's completely...
situation.
But Will Smith refuses. He's like, we aren't getting a divorce. I'm like, God, like, nobody's daring you to, like, stay with her. Why?
Yes.
I don't understand. Like, the divorces happen all the time, unfortunately. You are not doing anything for yourself, for her, for your family, for any of us by staying with her. There is no prize at the end of this. Will Smith has already been divorced once, and we saw his ex on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for like a brief couple of episodes. Like, there is no prize for staying in a miserable situation. And the thing is, they're married. Like, what is this? Like, why reveal all of this personal information? What, to sell books, to make a dime? Like, you have enough money. Like, there is no money needed in that family. So why are you doing it? There seems to be narcissistic tendencies there of, why do you need us to know all this? Do you want to be celebrated for being this honest when I don't even know what to, like, there's nothing that I hear this and go, this is inspiring.
I love pop culture so much, and anytime a celebrity's like spilling tea or sharing things, I love it. I'm like, give it all to me. I will eat it up. With them, I never want to hear another thing. I want to challenge them to more privacy. I would like to hear less. And I will not be reading this book. I will not be listening to this podcast, if there is one, or the audiobook or whatever. Yeah, I'm like so over it with them.
Well, and next time I see a Will Smith movie, all I'm going to think about is this, like, poor guy getting cucked by Jada Pinkett Smith again and again and again. And he keeps coming back for more, thinking it's like this noble thing to do. And by the way, Will Smith probably, has had his affairs, all of this stuff. His hands are probably dirty too. I just don't know why I know all this stuff. I don't know why I know about why, and then this weekend it comes out that Meryl Streep and her long-term husband, Don Gummer, they've been separated for like 6 years. And you know what's great? Good. I don't know dick about this. There was like a blind item in Des Moines. It finally got announced. But like, I'm Meryl Streep. If you're listening, thank you so much for not fucking saying a thing about this. Yeah. You know what? I didn't even know your husband's name until this weekend, and I do not care to know more. By the way, I wish you well. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you both will find love again. I don't care. I'm so happy, Meryl. Can you imagine Meryl Streep writing a book about this?
No. I can't even imagine her married. I was shocked to learn that. I was shocked. How wild that they both were secretly separated for 6 years. Like, what happened?
What's the magic? No, I know I just thought it was so funny. All of these relationships, which, by the way, relationships are weird. We go like ups and downs and ins and outs, and I get that. I just think the difference is, like writing the book and, this mystery. And even with the Chris Rock slap, all of these interviews during the time, you could have brought up that you're separated from your wife. And it was a very weird environment that supercharged that moment.
Yeah. And I think too, with A-list celebrities, there's almost like an allure to them being so private. It makes you want to know more, and it makes you want to read more to see if there's any blind items. But when they come out and they like start talking about it, it's kind of like, ew, like don't act like a peasant, don't act like a reality TV star. Like, keep it private. Like Lupita Nyong'o, she
Yeah, and her guy
posted something
broke
to
up.
her. She was like, "We broke up," blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Girl, like, didn't need to post that."
No,
like,
that was another thing.
Let Jamal do it, you know?
But that was enough. Lupita Nyong'o, an amazing actor,
Yeah.
obviously. I have never followed her relationship, did not know she was in a long-term relationship, never thought about it, don't care about it. And then I read this huge thing, which was beautifully written, but I was like, who is this for? I mean, is there millions of us going like, no, Lupita, oh, if you can't make it, how do any of us make it?
I think she had to post that because she knew pictures were going to come out of her and Joshua
Pacey? Jackson.
Yeah.
At that,
Yeah, I think so.
They were at a
She had,
Janelle
like,
Monáe concert.
Yeah, but and like he has a type, and it's hot ass women. I'm like, this guy is just pulling them. Like, that is crazy. But also so sad about him and Jody. Like, that devastated me.
Yeah, I mean, Jodie Turner-Smith, obviously, we've talked about that on the show before. They're getting a divorce, and I think she pulled the trigger on that based on, but also based on their relationship. They didn't, obviously she wasn't in love, and he went like, good, get yours, like, do what makes you happy. But if I fucking see a Jodie Turner-Smith book all about that relationship, I will probably not be listening to it. It's just, that's the furious, is that we need less restrictions with government, but more restrictions in celebrity culture, because I do not know what Jada Pinkett Smith was thinking. It's always this shit from Red Table Talk to this. Go back to acting. Go back to like SAG. Get your strike done so Jada Pinkett Smith can go back to work, for the love of God.
No, seriously, if SAG has any like motivation to reach a deal, it's so that Jada Pinkett Smith will shut the fuck up and get back to work.
By the way, that would be great. The producers in the SAG, they're like, listen, we've just got to get this done. We can't take much more. This was a negotiating tactic from SAG. Jada's going to keep revealing secrets if you guys don't make a deal. Okay.
Will's like, please.
Please.
I will do anything.
God, Will, you could be so happy. You both could be so happy. You both could be so happy. You do not need each other. You can always still see each other for holidays with the kids. You can even be best friends. You don't need each other. Just trust me. Well, this hour has gone way too fast. We barely got to anything, but it was one of my favorite conversations, as always. What are you looking forward to this week? What do we need to know about what you got coming up?
Nothing.
All right. Well, listen, the Garcia Diaries. And then go subscribe, rate the podcast 5 stars. Her and her dude every Friday. Garcia Diaries Unfiltered. Hopefully, we'll be hearing Monica on your show soon. And I always love talking to you. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
What's it?
Perfect.